Check, check. 1, 2, check 1, 2. Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for checking out our video today. As I have been teaching how to play different guitar chords, I came across one of these YouTube suggested videos, and it was basically talking about guitar picks and how to use them, what are they, and I was like, oh man, like I didn't think about that. Digital guitar lessons are a lot different than in-person guitar lessons, where, you know, as we're interacting, I can kind of point you to different things. So I discovered I have to be a lot more intentional about the content that goes out to be kind of more complete, because I have no idea what you're struggling with as you practice. So I'm going to try to cover just the whole gamut with different videos and things like that to help you keep improving your guitar playing ability. Excuse me. Because that's simply the goal here. And we want you to be better, more improved at guitar by the time each video ends than you were when it started. That is the goal. And we have those the incremental goals. And before you know it, you'll be nailing the guitar and playing all these songs and having a blast. And that is the goal. So today we're going to talk somewhat briefly about guitar picks. Guitar picks. What are they? How do you hold them? How do you use them? Seems like there's a trillion different types of guitar picks, different lengths, sizes, materials, thicknesses. It's wild. So let's talk beginner guitar picks. What I've had recommended to me over the years, and I've seen numerous people do, is I recommend when you're first starting to play with the guitar pick to find the thinnest guitar pick you can, because that will give you the most margin for error. And so what I have here is a Jim Dunlop nylon 0.60 millimeter. So that's this one right here. And if you notice this one, it is pretty thin. You can kind of fold it almost, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Let's see if I can get it in that camera. So there's the pick, and it just bends real good. That's going to give us a lot of margin for error. So what I would recommend is just getting kind of a nice thin pick, especially when you're first starting. So yeah, 60 millimeters, 0.6 millimeters is probably a great place to start. They have other ones that are slightly more thick. Look at this one. It's like a slightly darker gray too. And I think this one is 0.73 millimeters, so it's a little thicker. Then have like a little bit darker gray one. This one is 0.88 millimeters. And they have all the way up to, you know, basically the closer or the higher the number, the more rigid it's going to be. So they have all the way up to, I've played with a metal guitar pick before, it has 0 give. It was way more difficult to play with, so don't get that right away. You can work your way up to that. So yeah, so find yourself a nice thin pick, and we'll get started. So how do you hold this pick then? What's the proper way? I mean, in reality, you can hold the pick any number of ways, right? But what is the most effective and the way to hold it that will kind of carry over your whole guitar playing career or hobby or whatever it is? And so there's a simple way to go about this that I have found in my years of playing and with, you know, different lessons and things like that. And that is simply this. We're going to get these two fingers, your thumb, and your index finger. And those are the fingers we're going to use to hold the pick. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this pick, kind of lay it on your index finger so it's pointing the same direction your index finger is pointing, if that makes sense. Hopefully this camera is in focus. Just like that. And then we're going to take our thumb and we're going to kind of pinch it. And if you notice, it's kind of it's perpendicular, so it's going to be like the pick is coming out of the side of your thumb. It's going to be going the same direction as your finger and coming out of the side of your thumb, and that's going to be the best way to hold your pick. And when you're starting, it's going to be awkward and weird, and you're going to have to kind of get used to it. And so you can kind of, with the thinner pick, what it allows you to do is squeeze a lot harder and not have kind of the negative repercussions for that tension. Because as we progress with our picks, we're going to kind of hold it lighter and lighter, so that we can play more dynamically. So we can use the pick as something that is percussive, so we can do things like that, or so we can strum lighter, or we can strum harder based on how we're gripping the pick. So it's going to be coming right out the side of your thumb like that. And then, so go ahead and grab a chord. What chord should we do? Let's do our E chord. So here's a tab for the chord chart for an E chord. So go ahead and grab that, and we'll go ahead and lay the tip of this pick on the high E, or the low E. So this one. So lay it on there, and then sort of drag it down like that. And what you don't want to do is to click like this. We're not trying to make it hard and rigid. So if yours is like that, ooh, that's loud, sorry. So if yours is like that, go ahead and pick more loosely. Loosen your fingers up a little bit so that you can get it just like this. And you want that pick just to kind of flow down the strings. That's something that'll take some practice, so it's not wherever you're at right now, no big deal. It'll take some practice, so keep practicing that. And then once you get like that clean chord sound, you can go ahead and work on plucking one string at a time. Just like that. And then from there, there'll be like ways to do some more picking drills and things we'll get to more in the future. So how much of the pick do you want to be sticking out from your thumb? You know, I think right now, if you're just beginning, like a decent amount sticking out is okay. As you progress, you'll probably find that you have more control the less that's sticking out there. But for now, go ahead and have a decent amount of pick hanging out of the side of your thumb. And eventually you'll probably get to something like this, where there's not very much sticking out, and you can control it much better. So yeah, as you continue to use your pick, you'll need less and less of the length of the pick coming out of there. So they even make these really cool picks that I kind of like when I'm playing electric guitar. They're real small. They're probably about this big. They're like this big, yeah. They're probably about that big to start. So, and it's good for just kind of more technical picking and more precision picking. So as you progress, you'll probably notice you'll need less and less of that length. So what picks? Say you're at home, you have no guitar picks. What picks should you go out and buy? Picks they're a lot like a lot of things where it's going to come down to player preference. So picks that I love, you might absolutely hate. Picks that you love, I might think are terrible. So what I would recommend you do is you either get online or you go to like your local music shop and get like a variety pack. It'll be, I don't know, $4 or $5 maybe, and get like 10 picks, 10 different types of picks. And then you can kind of play around with all the different picks, and you can see which ones you like better. And then you'll eventually have a favorite pick, and that'll be your pick. And if you hate all of them, hey, go get a different type of variety pack and check it out. It's only a few bucks, and you're going to lose picks a lot for some reason. They have a mind of their own. They're like socks in the laundry machine. Something just eats them. Must be your pockets. Anyway, so get a variety pack, play around with what you like best, and we'll figure it out together. What pick is your pick? What's your personal pick? So anyways, guys, I hope that is helpful for a general idea of what a pick is, how to use it, and where to start to get your pick journey, I guess. And let me maybe remind you, you don't have to play with a pick. It's not mandatory. There's plenty of great guitar players who do not even use picks, and that's okay. Picks are just a tool. So yeah, especially like if you're going to learn some fingerstyle stuff, you know, where you're just playing. Where you're just plucking around with your fingers. That's fine too. It's up to you guys. I recommend, though, learning with a pick as you're a beginning guitar player, because it's easier to get to know how to use the pick and not want it later than it is to get used to playing guitar without a pick and then later wanting to play with a pick, because then it's like, man, you're starting to square one again. So you might as well learn with one and then make your decision. You have the option to play with or without. So that's my recommendation. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for clicking. Let me know if this was helpful to you. If you have any questions about guitar picks or brands or materials, go ahead and throw them in the comment section. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you for the next video. All right, guys, have a good one. Later.